Great day, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Come on in today's Breaking Boundaries podcast. Listen, I'm super excited. Y'all already see what the headline is presenting: balancing status versus success. I don't know about you all, but this right here is definitely going to be an exciting, very productive, very massively eradicating your day, your season, your moment, even your current year where we are at right now. I'm really elated. Y'all come on in because in today's world that we live in, you all know that it's pretty fast-paced world, yes. And it's easy for leaders and managers to equate status with success. I remember when working in corporate, a lot of times people fight for different job titles because job titles matter. And even working in businesses with working with different entrepreneurs and selfpreneurs, we sometimes don't know how to define our status with our success. So I'm here to set the tone because how many of you all find it to be a struggle or a challenge or maybe even intimidating that if I don't have a certain title, then my status basically is going to be looked upon as being below standards or below mediocre. Go ahead and your comments in the retreat because that's where I like to call the comment section is the retreat area. But I want you to come with me and I want to drive this home because I want to share some scriptures and some spiritual ways on how to be able to balance, yes, when it comes to your status and as well as success. Because here's the truth: success goes beyond titles and positions. Who's with me? Who can agree that success goes beyond status and position? 100% both. As leaders, managers as well, it's crucial to navigate the delicate balance between status and genuine success. Mhm. Drawing wisdom and pulling from an area of principles that I grew up with, that I've even brought into the journey, because I'm still in the journey of success. I'm still in the journey to perfection. And I too sometimes realize that how am I balancing the status and success? How am I presenting myself? Because it's all about perception. It's all about perception and it's all about how are you taking your image and how are you holding your reputation? Because here's the truth: you're not just representing yourself, you're representing your community, you're representing your family, you're perhaps representing the most important part of your leader or your what I like to call God, because God is so good. You're representing the creator. First step I want you to take heed on. Grab a pen and paper. Go ahead and grab your favorite drink, your favorite beverage. Matter of fact, go ahead and tackle a couple of your peers because they need to sit down and take heed on what's going to be unfolding here at the Breaking Boundaries. First thing first, humility over hubris. Yes, all that boldness, thinking that you're bigger and better than. I wanted you to reflect on Philippians 2, 3, verses 4, which encourage humility and prioritizing others above oneself. I want you to understand that you are a service. You are a servant. You're here to present who am I serving today? Who am I becoming today? Who am I going to be able to impact? How am I transforming on my day to day, whether it be in the workplace, whether it be in my home, whether it be in my community? I want you to really assess and do a self evaluation to ensure that your humility guides your leadership style, yes, and seek feedback. Sometimes when I find it to be true that it matters to me as I have extended mentors, I have direct business coaches, and I need to hear insight. I do rely on, although I do believe that each and every one of us have the secret antidotes, have the elements, have the answers within ourselves. I do believe that God did not put us on this God green earth to only seek from within, but we do want to know that the power of one more, being able to reach out and lean on with others who are 10 steps ahead of you. You with me? Let me know if you're catching what I'm presenting out here in the virtual world. As I'm streaming in multiple platforms, I want you to pay close attention on how you're receiving feedback. I Reach out to my team and my staff support. Hey, how's everything coming along? What would you like for a leader to present themselves? Even for me, and do I need some? Is there some areas of improvement that you like to see within me? Am I showing up as the best version of myself to you all? How can I support you? How can I definitely call myself a leader, but yet not being open and vulnerable to my support team? Support team could very well be my family, my mentors and coaches. Are you giving yourself the opportunity to seek feedback, to seek guidance? Let me tell you this, the step two, servant leadership, which pretty much goes even further what I just expound on just earlier. Explore how, who I love so much about this story, Jesus teaching on servant leadership in Mark 10, verses 45. He basically emphasizes the importance of serving others. And oftentimes people say, I'm not going beyond my job grade or my job description. And this is what I was set up to do. I wasn't set up to do above and beyond. Listen, we as human have to put our pride to the side. How many of you all know at times that your job description is way beyond what it was you were told when you got hired? Let me know in the comments that this is true. And I want you to find ways to make it appeasing to you. More so and most so importantly, how are you impacting the individual, maybe your team members, maybe perhaps the business, or in fact, how is it definitely transforming that consumer who's on the other side, whether it be that product or that program that you all are developing together as a unit? I want you to take this action because lead by example. Even when you're not feeling like leading today, sometimes I don't feel like leading. There's going to be days where you're going to give the best out of you, and there's going to be days when not so much today. And that's okay. However, you want to ask yourself, I'm ready to pick it back up. I'm ready to go ahead and see, who can I serve today? Who can I impact? Who I see, or what can I do to help this person be able to put on a different set of lens by giving them true advice, giving them meaningful ways to step out of the norm and do the things that maybe sometimes may cause you to be uncomfortable. Sometimes we need that. This fosters a culture of mutual respect and support. Next thing I want to share and unfold, because oftentimes, how many of you all think that integrity and ethics is being shot all over the place? It's not really taking into consideration, or it's not being put into definition. Let's go ahead and delve into Proverbs 11:13. How oftentimes emphasizing the importance of integrity in leadership. That is so huge. I was speaking with a doing a consultant call yesterday and doing a discovery call, and she was saying, leaders, there's a lot of leaders who are making the environment even more toxic in the workplace. Where is the empathy? They ask. Where is, hey, I see you, I recognize you, I know times are tough. Let me see if I can work out a strategy plan with you. And here's why. It's no more so the problem being the leader who is creating this toxic environment. Is the actual company as a whole, as who is developing, who is supervising that they're maintaining a team or staff of leaders who are now developing empathy, charismatic ways, a drive that's going to help build a very striving and thriving team. How many of you all can relate that leaders are lacking development? Yeah. Yeah. You're not alone, my friend. So I want you to know, leading by example, seeking opportunities to serve your team members and meeting their needs. This will help you not only standing out, but it helps you prioritize your ethical decision making, number one, in all aspects of leadership. Yes. Is this helpful? Let me know that you finding yourself really taking taking heed and saying, let me pay close attention on what am I presenting myself out there, because it's not about status quo. It's not about whether or not am I building up a certain status in middle class or working class or rich class or wealthy class. Hey, listen, it's all about how are you showing up as your true divine you. Let's put that into perspective. Prioritize this every single day. When you set clear ethical standards for yourself and your team, guess what? Now you hold everyone accountable. Everyone is holding themselves accountable because we're now becoming more mindful. We're paying close attention not only with our integrity, but also the ethics on how we're acting, how are we combining, how are we collaborating, how are we serving? Are we truly being a server? Are we waking up out of the wrong side of the bed every single day? Let's talk about empowering others. This is all in alignment. If you're just jumping in, you're wondering what is it that this topic is about, because oftentimes we're weighing status versus success. I have my degrees, I have my multiple certifications, so I can do and say and basically do and act as I want. And that's not the way it should go. It's not. Success will definitely disappear because now you're allowing your status, your ego of perception thinking, yes, you're making 10, $20,000 a month, or I'm making 30K, 50K a month. However, how is that serving your community? How are you paying it forward when you're being boastful that your current, maybe your expenses are very low, but now you're coming in with all of this income. However, how are you empowering others? Maybe your calling is, now that you've cracked the code on how to expand and leveraging money to work for you and you not working for it, let's talk about it. In Ephesians 4, 11, 12. Oh my gosh, I love how it really blanket this and highlights how the role of the leaders in equipping and empowering the team members. I want you to really understanding that we need to lean on each other, giving that you got this, you can do all things. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life. If we're affirming positive ways, our thought process then tends to go a different direction. It tends to go onward when you're leading on to not to your own understanding, but also seeking guidance for those from those who are 10 steps ahead of you. Is this making sense? Is this driving you home? Am I helping you build a bridge to where you now can walk through it with ease and peace of mind? I want you to do this because I knew this to be true back in 2010 when I invested in myself. I invested in myself with Danny Johnson, hands down. I was well into my master's and I found myself at a plateau within my career. And I really just didn't understand why. I said, what am I doing wrong? When I'm watching my peers getting promoted, moving from 70,000, 80,000, even over to six figures. And for some whatever reason, I find myself saying, is it me? Do I need to go back to school and get something higher than my master's? Or what am I needing to do to really show up as my true divine self? Am I not doing it? Am I not following the principles? I'm reading my Bible. I've been exposed to my Bible since as I gave myself to Christ at the tender age of 13. I decided to invest in myself. That was the best and most incredible thing that I ever did for myself. And that was through sacrifice. Doing it afraid. Are you taking calculated risk? Do you know that having someone outside of yourself may be the access that you're missing? We're only one person away from our breakthrough, one person away from our promotion, one access door away from pivoting on clearing out our debt. I'm telling you this to really repositioning how you're thinking, because investing in your growth matters, your growth development, not only within yourself, but also within your staff, maybe your team members, maybe perhaps your virtual assistants. If you're running and operating a business all by yourself, how about maybe adding a virtual assistant or a actual assistant to help you? Providing opportunities will not only help you, but for them to also learn and grow and take on new challenges. Are you ready to take this challenge as well, my friend? I want you to encourage in creating an innovative and more creative way because you are co creating with the bigger and better and best version of yourself every day. Let's wrap this up because I know what we talked about. We brought in here because my main concern and my main goal is I want you to see that status and success, although sometimes they intertwine, they're completely different. Your status doesn't define you. While you're pushing forward for success, you can lose your success and fall backwards if you're so focused on a title or a status or how much you make, how much you're bringing home, and then making that to be you and not you. Just taking that with gratitude that you made it this far. However, you're pushing forward on this success journey. How many of you all are ready to break free and removing some of these boundaries that has been limiting you to thinking that you're needing to push to for more status, for more visibility, for more job titles, for more ranking? If you're maybe part of a networking community and you're wanting to showcase that, hey, I make multi million dollars a year. However, your success and your stories doesn't match up. Let me tell you this. Consider the story about King Saul. Oh my gosh, with David. I want you to pay close attention to this one. King Saul and David in the Bible, King Saul was consumed by his status as king. How many of you all know this story? I remember this in Bible school and Sunday school. And oftentimes I'm bringing this because oftentimes making decisions based on when King Saul, he was making decisions based on his status, on what he was, because he had power. How many of you all know that those who have power and control tend to be, taking that status way above their head? In contrast, David, yes, the son of Joseph, though anointed to be king, remained humble, yes, and focused on what? Serving serving his family, serving the people, serving his crops, serving the sheep that he was overseeing. David had believed that he was serving God and his people, despite facing numerous challenges and setbacks. How many of you all are facing challenges and setbacks as we speak? David's integrity, oh my goodness. And this is someone who did not have walking around with expensive suits with hard bottoms and making people have this perception of he is better than or greater than. No, he was all about servant leadership. Ultimately led his success while Saul's obsession with status, guess what? Led to his downfall. How many of you all are going to give yourself the opportunity and grace to now balance your status and success and maybe focus head on who am I looking to serve today? Who am I looking to become today? What am I looking to increase as far as my abilities? What areas do I need to now sharpen to become that meta skill in my arsenal of tools that I'm looking to present back out here into my community, whether it be into my business, and whether it be into the workplace? Is this helpful? Do you find that you're wanting to now expand your leadership traits to where you're now conveying that you have more empowerment for your team? You're now standing up on your two solid feet and ultimately shifting. Because here's the truth, as leaders and managers, it's essential to remember that the success that you are in right now, true success, is not measured by status or titles, but by the impact we have on others and the integrity with basically with which we lead. You got to lead with integrity. How many of you all can agree and say, yes? Now, I want you to embrace these biblical principles that I shared with you throughout our broadcast today by presenting more of your humility, servant leadership, integrity, and empowerment. We can create environments, my friend, where both individuals and organizations are thriving. So I want you to go ahead and let me know, did you find yourself moving forward or stumbling about 10 steps backwards? Because my goal and my aim here is I want to help you shift your frame of thinking and how your behavior patterns may have not been serving you because you were running through the races for status versus how am I going to transform and help people and impact the community at large so that way I can be rewarded and my success will be my testimony. My success will eradicate why I am here. Yes? So, like and follow for more insights on leadership and personal development, inspired by, timeless wisdom, because I'm going to bring it in a different, meaningful way by adding the principles of spirituality. Let's continue to grow together, my friend, because it matters to me that in your journey towards impactful and meaningful leadership, you want to be able to take your career, your business, and even your life to a whole different dimension. How many of you are ready to go for more in 24? This is your season. It is your time. Let's go ahead and become that version of you that you've been thriving and having a huge appetite for. Okay? So until next time, everybody, let's go ahead and continue breaking boundaries together.